Okay, a few comments about the phone, iPhones. There are nearly 30 versions of the phone since Apple's first one in 1977. Many of the functions are the same on the phones, but many are different from phone to phone. And there are usually several ways to do the same thing on your phone. We won't be showing all of them, but we'll try to do the ones that we find are user-friendly. Now I will share my iPhone and get right into it.
There we see it.
Okay, everybody should be able to see my home screen on my iPhone. And the first thing I want to do is make sure everybody is in sync with me on their phones today. So what I'm going to do is go to my settings. And if you'd like to, if you're looking at this on a laptop or your computer that has a webcam or maybe even your iPad, you can follow me along there and then do the steps on your phone. Or if you're not able to do that, you can just follow along on the phone. So what I'm going to do first is tap on settings. And then I'm going to scroll down until I get to general. I'm going to tap on general. And then I'm going to scroll to software update. I'll tap on that. And if it tells you to do something here, don't do it right now. This one shows my operating system is up to date. So I've got all the current information. If yours does not say what mine does, then once this class is over, you should go back to this screen and follow the steps on updating your phone. Make sure you get all the new information, all the new security upgrades and systems. Okay. I'll go back to my home screen here. One of the first things you may have noticed when you upgraded to iOS 14, up here at the top of the screen, all of a sudden there are some little orange and green dots showing up. So I wanted to show you first off what those are. I'm going to make a phone call right now and call one of my associates. And notice up here, an orange dot showed up. That means somebody is using the microphone and can be listening or recording what I am saying. The other thing I wanted to show you is the green dot. If you go to your camera, you notice the green dot, it comes up. So somebody may be recording you here also. It could be FaceTime, other video apps that both use the camera and microphone access. So that's what the two dots are. Next thing I wanted to show you on my screen, if you've not figured this out yet, you'll notice on my screen here, all my apps here, very small, sometimes a little hard to see, sometimes a little hard to find, but I've got one really big one up here. And this is called a widget. And with the new iOS 14, they've allowed you to put widgets on your home screen. And I find them very useful. It's quick access to things. And also you can stack them. Like right here, I've got the weather report. I also have a big clock that I can see. And I've also got my calendar. So what I want to do now is show you how to set this up to create your widgets. I'm going to hold my finger on the screen, just anywhere, probably down here in a blank space. And I get the negative signs come up. And when those come up, it gives you an opportunity to delete something. So I'm going to take my mouse up here and click on the negative sign by the widgets. And it's going to ask me if I want to remove this stack. 3 or 4 of those on top of each other is called a stack. So I'm going to remove that and let this catch up. It's just taking, there we go. It's a little bit slow. All right, now I've lost that widget, but I want to replace them. So what I'm going to do is up here at the top of your screen, you should see a plus sign. With that plus sign, I'll tap on it. And I've got a bunch of widgets come up here. The first one there is a weather. There's an open table. Here's photos, clocks, weather, all kind of different things that you might want to use. One that I like to use is the weather. So I'm going to tap on this weather app. This is running really slow behind me. Okay, here's the widgets coming up. And I'm going to go ahead and try and capture the Winter Storm Lexington weather report. I'm going to tap on it. And I get this icon right here. Now, you notice there's three little dots down here. If you know how your iPhone operates, when you see this, you know there's some other pages. So I can get this small icon here. I can scroll over and get a larger one with more information, or I can scroll over and get another one with even more information. So you get to choose which one you want. And if you're going to stack these, they all need to be the same size. I don't want those other ones because they're too big and take up too much space. So I'm just going to add this as a widget. And I'll go down here and tap Add Widget. And there it put it up there. Now I'm going to go get another one. I'm going to hit on the plus sign again. And this time I'm going to go down and get the clock. And again, I've got three different options here of a small clock, several different cities, and more information about those. So I'm going to go back and get this first one because, like I said, I want them all to be the same size. And I'm going to go down here and tap on Add the Widget. And now I've got that one. And I think I'll go get one more. So I'm going to tap on the plus sign again. And I'll go down here and let's see, I think I will get my calendar. Here's the calendar. And I've got three different options for the calendar here. And I'm going to add this widget. And so now I've got them. They're still wiggling, which gives me the option of moving things around. But you notice, because those are so big, I lost a lot of my apps. They've moved over to the next page. But I want to just get those back, so I'm going to stack these. And that means putting them on top of each other.
Joe, one question somebody didn't catch. How did you get the screen to wiggle like that?
You hold your finger in the black area down here and kind of long press on it.
Okay, because somebody said when they hold it down, they get Siri. Don't hold the finger button.
They're holding you shouldn't be holding the home button, home screen, but somewhere in your background, like where my mouse is right now.
Thank you.
Okay, and so now I've got these all wiggling here, and I'm going to pick up one. I'm going to pick up the weather and move it up. Oop, lost my wiggle. Careful there, John. Okay, now I'm going to move this one up here and lay it right on top of that one. And then I'm going to take this one, and move it right on top of that one. Now, when I'm done there, I'll just tap again on my home screen on the back blank space, and the wiggling will stop. And there, now we're set. And if I wanted to take a quick look at my calendar, I just take my finger up here and place it on the clock and drag down. There's the weather. There's the calendar. And you can put up to, I forget how many, several of them in there, and scroll through them. A bigger screen, easier to see, and very convenient to get to. So I already showed you how to get rid of it. I'll do that again. I'll put my finger here and do a long press on it. They wiggle, and then I can tap on the minus sign here, and I can remove the stack if I choose to. I'm not going to do it this time because that's the way I want it to be. So I'm going to cancel this one. And then I'll tap on my screen to get everything to quit wiggling.
We had somebody who said that it just, it just moved the weather channel to a third empty screen. It wasn't evidently dropping it where it needs to be dropped.
They have to, once you've done that, you need to drag it right on top of it and line it up and then let loose. Okay, moving right along then. Another thing that they've done that's really kind of helpful to me, I take a lot of photos, and sometimes I would like to have some way to put some information about that photo so I can remember what it was or where I took it or what the name of the plant was or something like that. So I wanted to show you next on how to accomplish that. First thing we'll do here, we'll go to our Photos app and we'll tap on that to open our photos. And I'm going to go back here to my albums. And I'm going to go into my recent photos. And I'm going to scroll down until I find the photo that I want. And I'm going to tap on it. And here's a trident maple or a Japanese maple forest. And I want to put some information in my photos with this. So what I'll do now is, I don't think you're going to be able to see this on the screen, but you can do it on your own phone. Is you touch the picture and drag up, and then it'll say add caption. And I can put in here, so now I've got that information embedded in here in my phone with the information I want. It could be the name of a plant. It could be a scientific name. It could be the name of the bird that you just took a picture of. The other thing that's really nice about this screen is you keep on going down and you will find a map of where the picture was taken. And this was, again, I don't think you can see this on the screen, but it will show the address where this was taken, which is my home. It shows a map, it puts in the address, and it's just a real helpful tool. Okay. All right. Next thing I would like to show you about when we're in our apps, you can create a little slideshow out of these. So what I will do now is I'm going to go to one of my different albums. And let's see, I'll go down here. Let's see all. And here's a bunch of pictures that I took on a trip a year or so ago to Japan. And in order to do a slideshow here, one thing I like to mention, when you go on a trip and you take 500 pictures and you want to show them to somebody, they don't want to see 500 pictures. They want to see about 10 or 20. So it's nice to go in and select some of these. So I'm going to hit on select, and I'll go and tap on the pictures that I wanted to show. And then I will go down to my share button down here. If you're not familiar with the share button, it's the way you share your information with either a message or an email Could be a way to copy it, duplicate it, and a lot of other different things. So I'm going to tap on this, tap right there. And then I get some people that I can airdrop it to, messages, email, put it in notes. But I'm going to scroll on down here. And I come to where it says slideshow. I'm going to tap on slideshow. And it will start playing. Now, if you're doing this on your own phone, you'll see some different options. When I do it on my phone, it doesn't transmit. But on your screen down at the bottom, it will say options. And when I tap on options, I have the option of changing the theme, the music, whether the video repeats, and how fast or how slow it goes. Right now, I'm going to change some of the settings here. I'm going to change it so it does a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to try another one here just to try something a wee bit different. I'll do the push one. And this time I'm going to move it up so it goes a little bit faster. And I'll hit on done. And if you wanted to do a slideshow, you could speak to these as they're going, depending on how fast it's going, and talk about the different characteristics of the picture, what it's about, where you took it, why you took it, and some things like that.
Joe, are you using the iPhone to display the screen?
I'm using the iPhone, yeah.
Okay, you're mirroring it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sharing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sharing my iPhone, but in the optional settings for this, they don't come through. Okay, so that's how you make a slideshow. You can pick some of your favorite pictures and put them in a slideshow and present them to people. Another thing you can do if you wanted to set this up maybe in your living room when you got some guests over, you could have it keep repeating itself time and time again, just so you have something, some music and scenery going on in the background. So that's kind of a neat little thing. Okay, let me get out of this. Okay. The next thing I wanted to chat about is the camera burst. If you don't know what a burst is really a series of quickly taken shots. It's useful if you got a moving target. Maybe it could be your grandkid crawling across the floor or the dog or cat wagging his tail. If you try to get a picture of that, then you very often will get a blurry shot. So the idea is if you take a burst, then you can get several very quick shots, and then from the burst, you can go and pick out one that is good. And in order to activate this, you go there. Well, there's two ways. Let me go back to my camera here. I can do the burst by tapping here and dragging to the left, which can get awkward. It's hard to do sometimes. There it goes. And you saw those numbers popping up. I took 15 pictures right there. Let me see how many it was. Actually, I took 17. You won't see it here, but it shows there were 17 shots taken there. So from those, I can go ahead and open that up and then select the one that I would like. Let me go back here. It's kind of difficult to do it that way. So they created a new way in iOS 14, and I wanted to show you how you set that up. But let me show you how it works first. On this one, instead of trying to tinker with the shutter down there, you hold on the volume button and it starts snapping. So it's a little steadier instead of trying to do it that way. What I wanted to do is show you how to set that up. And if you'll follow with me here on the screen, we will go to our settings. And then we will scroll down to where our camera is. Down here somewhere. There it is. Camera. Tap on camera. And then it says here that you can activate there it is. You've used volume up for burst. On this one, if this was off, I wouldn't be able to do that. But when I set the volume up for burst, then I can utilize the volume button to take a burst picture. Very effective way to do that. Okay, let me go back to my camera now. And taking videos is always been important with the camera, with the iPhone camera. And usually when you did it, you would go to the camera, you tap on camera, and then you drag this over till you got to the right spot. And that was a little difficult because sometimes when you want to take a video, you want to do it really quickly. So now they've implemented a new procedure for that, where you go to your photo, the shutter down here, and you can tap on it and drag to the right. And if you notice the top of the screen, it's taking a video. And when you're done, you can tap on the shutter again and stop it. And it's just an easy access way to take a video.
Was that a drag over?
Yes, it's a push and drag.
Okay.
And then you let loose of it. Also, when you're doing a video like this, sometimes you say, boy, I wish I had a shot of that particular screen that's going by. And if you do that, you can tap on that white shutter on the right, and it'll capture a picture for you. So anyway, we've finished our video now, so I'm going to hit on the red square down there to stop it, and there we are.
Okay, had a question. When somebody tried to use the volume to take the picture, it took a movie. Is that because the settings for the camera was set to video, and then it automatically the up and down button made it to go video?
No, if you're in the camera and you have the volume up for the burst, I don't think I'm not aware that it does a video. Let me try it again here. Open my camera and I hit on the burst. Camera and then volume button. 10, 15, 20.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got about 20 shots there, but it doesn't do a video on mine unless you accidentally had your finger maybe down on the screen.
I wonder if it was on the when you're in the camera, it was slid over to the video side, and then when it moves the up, volume button, it takes video instead of the regular shot.
Could be. When you're in your camera, for using that, you're supposed to be in the photo mode. If you had moved over to video, I'm not sure what that does, but there would be no reason to do a burst on a video. Yeah, so that's what happened. It was in the video format, and it was trying to do the burst thing, so it went to video. So anyway, the burst is really useful. Again, if you're trying to take a picture, say your nephew on a swing, and swing's going back and forth, and you're trying to take a picture, then you're probably going to get a blurry shot. But if you hit the burst then you can get 10 or 15 or 20 shots, and you can go back and review those and delete the ones that are blurry and keep the ones that you would like to. So that works very well. Okay, now the next thing I want to chat about is a new function again. It's called the app library. And what this app library does, it organizes your apps under different folders or albums, if you will, where it tries to put similar things together. If you notice down here on my screen, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 pages of apps. That's a lot. And if I wanted to get some of them, see how they're all organized, I can go over all the way to the right. So I'm going to take my finger and swipe to the left. One, I'll keep on going. And you notice down here, it's indicating which page I'm on. Keep on going. I'm on the last page, but there is one more page. If you scroll over, it'll show you your app library. And what they've tried to do here is put similar apps in folders. For example, entertainment, information and reading, health and fitness, shopping and food, travel apps, education, and other. And it's nothing that you really you don't try to put them in there. They do that for you. You don't have flexibility in doing that. Another thing, when you're in here, if you wanted to find a particular app, I said I had 8 pages. That's probably 150, 200 apps. And I don't know where they all are, but if I wanted to find the Kroger app, I could just tap here in my app library and go there it is, Kroger, and that will bring my app right up. So the app library is a good way to find things and keep them organized in different folders. Get out of that, cancel that, and I'll go to my home screen. Another thing I just wanted to mention, because I find it's not new in iOS 14, but it's a very helpful tool, is when you can't find something you're looking for, if you take your finger up in this area here on the background screen and just swipe down, you'll get your search engine up front, and then you can type in whatever you're looking for, and it will go throughout your phone and search for the name of the app, or if you got the name of a person. I'm going to type in the name of a person that helps me in my classes a lot. And her name is Brookie Thomas. It's already found her in my contacts. And if we go down here, it shows where we had some events on our calendar that are similar, shows where we use FaceTime, and shows where we've used messages. So anyway, even though that's not something particularly new, I find it extremely important, help me get organized and find things that I can't find. Okay. Next one that's kind of a really neat one is I'm going to go to my messages and open that up. And if you notice at the top of my messages, there's 3 little circles up there. And these are people that I contact on a regular basis. Instead of having to scroll down here and look for where I contacted them the last time and then tap on it, I can set it so they come up here as a small icon. So here's one right here for Brookie. And I'm going to tap on that, and it did a long hold on it. And then I'm going to unpin it down here at the bottom. And now it's gone away. So now if I wanted to put that back, though, because I do talk with her a lot and I don't want to have to search for it, I can go down into my messages. Like here's one from her. and I'll push on the name, on the message itself. And I get some icons up here. And here's one that says pin. I'm going to tap on pin. And then notice it's back up here. And you can rearrange these in any way you want to. You can just touch it. Oop.
Was that a push or a long pause?
I don't know. It's not working.
Okay.
Let me go out of it and come back in and see if that changes it. Oh, there we go. You just touch and hold and then drag it over to wherever that you would like it to be. But this is really useful in keeping those commonly used or often used messages to people. Make a nice pin up there, and you put up to 9 of them up there. So that's real helpful. Okay. Where do I want to go next? Oh, another one here. A nice thing that they had done. And on this one, I'm going to go to Safari, and I have no idea where Safari is on my phone. It's on one of these pages, but I don't know where. So I'm just going to swipe down from the center and start typing Safari. Yes, got it. And there's Safari. So I'm going to tap in here. And now I've got my Safari browser up, and I want to show you a new procedure they've got in here on translating foreign languages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here into the search engine, click on that, and type. There's a French newspaper out there called Le Monde, LemondE, and here it is. And you notice down here, it's all in French. Okay, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to open that app. I'll click on it here, right here, open that. And it's still in French, which I can't read. But up here at the top of your screen, you see these double A's, a small A and a big A, and you click on that. And down here, it's got a lot of different things you could do, but the one we're interested in today is translate this to English. And so I've translated it, and now all of a sudden, Le Monde and selected third parties, so forth, we're all in English now, easy for me to read. So that's a nice new tool. And we'll accept this. And we get into some more information here. So that's how you can go to, if you have a foreign language paper or article that you want to read, you can put it in there and it'll help you translate it into a variety of different languages, such as English, Spanish, simplified Chinese, French, German, Russian, Brazilian, Portuguese. So that is that. Okay. Next thing I wanted to show you is another nice tool that they've got in messages. Let me get rid of this. Okay. A lot of times we want to send out a message and we want it to go to 5 people. So we type in 5 names up here. And then next week we want to go in and send that same group, maybe it's our bridge group or a garden club group, whatever, and we type in those same 5 names again and send the message, and next week we do the same thing. So let's take a look at a way to make that easier to do. So what I'm going to do here, up in my search engine, I'm going to type in Brookie. And here she is, Brookie Thomas. Oops. Okay, Brookie, what am I doing here?
I'm not sure either.
Okay. Why is it acting funny? Cancel that. Start a new message. Okay, it's not working like I want it to. Let me go back down here and find one. Here's a message down here that I've sent to 2 or 3 different people. Here's one that Brookie and another friend of mine. So I'm going to tap on that. After you've typed the names in and sent a message, you can go back to that message and then open it up. And then at the top of your screen up here where you see the number of people, this could be numerous people, 2, 3, 4, 10 even, and you'll tap on that and you get a new screen come up, and we're going to go to info. And now we get this screen where I can change the name and photo. I'm not worried particularly about the photo, but I'm going to click on change name and I'm going to tap there. And then I get this screen talk about enter a new group name. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to type in Garden Club. And then I'm going to go up here and say done. And done. Now,
did you have to put a separator in between the addresses?
It did it for me. When I was putting in the names, it captured the names that were already in my, I guess, in my email or message list, and it put the separator in there. So anyway, I've called this the Garden Club, and I'm going to cancel this now. And it's called Garden Club. Now I'll type done, and I'll go back to my messages. Now, if I want to write a new message, I go up here to my write a message, and I'll tap on it. And now instead of typing in Brookie's name and Tim's name and Mary's name and Bill's name and John's name, whatever, I'm just going to start typing garden. And there it popped right up, Garden Club. I'll tap on that. And then I'm ready to send my message. And once I do that, I can send that message. And it went out to all of those folks that I had in my message list. One thing to remember about this is Apple doesn't play well with others, and it's only for Apple IDs. So anyway, now, when you get a message like this and you want to reply to it, remember that when you reply to a group message, that message goes out to everybody in that group. Now, if you wanted to speak to somebody individually in that group, you can again go up here to the top of your screen and tap here and then go to info. And then down here, you can see the list of names, however many it is. And if you wanted to just send a message to Brookie, but not let ICE see it, then you could tap on Brookie and then send a message, tap here and send a message directly to her. It can be very embarrassing when you get a group message and you send back a snide remark about one of the members and you didn't think it was going to everybody, but it does. So it's just a good thing to be careful with, be cautious of. Okay. I guess that covers about this information that I was going to give. Let me go back to my home screen here. We talked about widgets. We've talked about the little icons, little lights that come up here at the top of your screen. We talked about adding captions to your photos, how to create slideshows, how to use the camera burst with the volume button, how to take videos. We've also talked about the app library, translating web pages in Safari, and creating group messages. So we covered a whole lot of ground today. Normally we'll do this in about 2 hours when people are really actively involved and we're practicing on the phone. But
I seem to can tell that there are people practicing at home.
Good.
One question that I didn't jump in right away because you were on a roll. Is the kind of problem that I have with my family because I'm a non-Apple person. Problems you have sending texts from an iPhone to an Android phone.
If you just send a regular text from your iPhone to an Android, there should be no problem. But if you're trying to send a group message, again, Apple doesn't play with Android. They won't take them.
Yeah, there's a different way that you have to do it to make it so that you can go directly. And
you would have to do it a direct one to the Android.
Yeah. So let's go through questions. I have a lot. Some of them would be review because it was confusing because people thought you had a mouse on your phone, and I had to let them know that the mouse is what your computer has that's hovering over your phone.
Yeah.
One big question people have is, as we look at your screen, you've got a lot of apps on that screen, the next screen, the next screen. Can you have a limited number of apps on a screen? Half as many?
I have an iPhone 11, and on it, the screen you see has got 24 apps, but it's also got folders with apps. And some of those folders may have as many as 4, 5, 6, up to 10 different apps within it.
Okay, but I don't want 24 of those things on a screen. I only want 12 of them on there. Can I just have 12 on that screen?
Yeah, sure. You just take them. Let me slide over here. And if you don't want this many apps, let me make a change right here, right quick. Okay, if you didn't want these here, the easiest way I know to do this, there are, again, several ways, but the one I like to use is easier. If I did not want the Waze app here on my home screen, I can drag it down here. Once they get wiggling, I can make it move onto here, and then I can go over here to where I've got an empty slot and bring it back up. Okay, it's dragging behind me right here, but I'll drag the Waze down into this area. Come on. There she goes. And then I'll move over to another screen where there's a vacancy. And then I'll drag this app back up. And then when I go back, I'll stop them from wiggling by touching the home screen. I'll go back to my home screen, and now I've got a vacancy. Come on. sometimes the phone's a little slow getting the message across. But anyway, if you went back to your home screen, then you would find there was a vacancy where that the Waze app was.
Okay. I think when I've experimented, they seem to move. And when that one that you just moved Waze from, a different one filled its spot. Because somebody said that that's a lot of icons on the desktop they would like to have, or on screens, would like to have fewer on the screen at a time, which then makes it easier to see through.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. You can see where it's a vacant spot here. I've not had that difficulty. Once I move it from this screen, then it stays wherever I put it and nothing comes back in here automatically. If you were to download something from the App Store, it might attempt to put something new in there. Another option, John, would be that if you wanted fewer apps, you could go up and do these widgets and just keep the 3 or 4 best ones that you want right there and just have them on the home page.
Okay. Went back on the Safari when you were showing the website. Does Translate only work with Safari, or if you had another browser on your phone, would Translate work with it? Safari
works well because Apple designed it.
Mm-hmm.
Other apps do have some translation features, but I'm not prepared to discuss those right now.
Yeah.
But yes, Google Chrome does. I know you can translate. I'm sure some of the others do too.
Okay. We have a number of other questions, but they're in our chat, and we will send those to Joe for him to answer back to Judy, and Judy back to everybody else. But the one thing I wanted to do, on your stack up at the top, 2 questions. One, can you remove just one thing from that stack that you said, okay, I don't want it in the stack, I want something else in the stack?
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit convoluted, not too bad. We'll make them wiggle. And then we'll just take, let's see, I open this. Let me see how I do this.
Press it.
Oh, I press on it.
Let it. Oh.
Come on. It's not wanting to cooperate here.
Let up.
Okay, when I press on it, it should come up and say edit calendar, edit stack, edit home screen. And if I hit on edit the stack, why won't this do this? Well, it's, let me get out of
okay.
that. But yes, you can edit that stack. You can move one off. You can also, let me try again here. Here we go.
It always does that when you want to show it. It says,
yeah.
I'm gonna. The other thing is, do you know, are there apps that will not stack in a folder like that?
The only apps that will stack are the ones that show up when you hit this plus sign right here. If you want to put several of them in a folder, then you can do that too. That's a different procedure. And if you wanted to do that, like if I wanted to put all my Google apps, like write these 2 in the folder, I could take this one and move it on top of that one. And now I've got the Google apps, and you could do with your photography apps, your weather apps, your book apps, whatever, put them all in one folder. And it's a little slow coming up, but mine's showing these 2 are in a folder, and it just moves slow, but they're in a folder now, and I can rename it to the folder, whatever I want it to be. And I find that very effective too.